Yo YouTube! This is my video for Wednesday the 26th of March, and I am on my way to pick up a job that I'm pretty sure I've underpriced by at least £30. It still may turn out to be okay, but I'm going to have a very fortunate delivery for it to work out for me, and a lot could easily go wrong, and it could then eat into my time and therefore eat into the money I make. So the time now is nearly 8:15. I left the house about 20 minutes ago, and I'm on my way to Fakenham in Norfolk, which is 53 miles from my house. 53 miles. It's an hour and a half to the pickup, and I've got a short wheelbase van job going to central London, which is 114 miles loaded. And for this job, I priced it at £150, 150, and I think I've underpriced it by about £30 because I guesstimated that a half-day rate would cover this job, as in cover the time and the mileage. So a half a day rate is £150, 150, and it should take me about 5 hours to do that work, ideally. Now, I've checked on Google Maps this morning, and in theory, depending on how quickly the loading and unloading happened, so if I give myself half an hour for that, then it should take me just less than 5 hours from when I left the house to get offloaded. Now, if that is the case, then I've not really messed up. So at the moment, that's okay. The problem is I misjudged the pricing for a variety of reasons. I was in a rush, and I was sort of trying to get this bit done yesterday afternoon quickly. I was bidding this was about 10 to 5, 5 to 5 when this came through, and there's a flurry of jobs, and I was bidding on a few of them, and I did rush it, and therefore didn't quite think through fully the application. And what I was trying to do was to get myself from home to Fakenham to London to Cambridge for a half a day's rate. And I now realise there's no way I'm going to get from central London to Cambridge in whatever time is left for the half day. Well, I can't do it. So the half day rate is to get the job done, but not get me out of central London. So my plan originally was to just drive straight out towards Cambridge, because that's the area of London that I'm in. So if I go directly north, it takes me to Cambridge. Right now, I'm thinking I just need to drive out of central London and get to the sort of M25 area and see what the jobs are like. But I'm not necessarily very optimistic that I'm going to get a job away from London. So I think my best bet is probably to either head towards a job in Essex, if there is one, or towards Milton Keynes. And that's going to take time. It's going to take at least an hour, possibly more like an hour and a half to get that far out. Probably my best bet, which if it's possible, is to try and get myself to South Essex, and if there's a job going from there away from London. That is a very unlikely scenario, but it could happen. I have had jobs before where I've been sort of Southend-on-Sea and then moved away from London. But that is one option, but I think it's going to be highly unlikely. And then getting to Milton Keynes is a better option for me, but it's going to take a lot longer to get there. So I just need, I think, to accept that I need to get myself out of London ASAP and then just drive until work starts picking up, and just see what I can pick up. And I think heading towards the East Midlands is my best option. I've had an interesting thing happen to me this morning, which hasn't happened before. The shipper that I'm working for is a London-based shipper, but I like the company because they're a franchise and they tend to be very good in terms of payments and in terms of knowing what they're doing. Usually, not all franchises in this are the same, but this was quite good. Well, this is a London-based franchise, and they. First of all, what I liked about them when I got the job is that they seemed quite friendly, and to be honest, being friendly to me goes a long way. I like people who are either friendly or appear to be friendly. That immediately breaks down a lot of barriers when it comes to how I'm going to work for you. And then secondly, I had a call this morning about 5 minutes ago asking me if I was still on track for the pickup, which I thought was interesting. I suspect why they've done that, quality of drivers on CX is not as good as it should be. And I have got thoughts on this, which I'll put in another video in the future. But I think that what some shippers are doing is they're calling up before the pickup to check you're still on your way and still going to be there on time, which I don't think should be necessary. Obviously they feel the need from their experience of other drivers that they have to do this. So it's interesting. It was a very easy conversation because I'm going to be there 10 minutes earlier than they want me to be, but it was interesting that they felt they needed to check, and I think it's because to them I'm just a CX driver. Right, I'll leave it there. I'll get on with my first job of the day, and hopefully it's not the last job, and I'll let you know how I get on after I've delivered it to London. Cheers. Okay, YouTube, it's now 11:15. These overhead roads are the M25, which I'm passing underneath, and I'm now entering the outer part of London, and I thought I would just document in some short excerpts my next 50 minutes of journey to my destination point. This is the bit that's the unpleasant part of driving in London. It's actually the London bit. Driving from Norfolk down to here was really nice. It was lovely weather, it was really nice roads. I went from lanes to villages to market towns to bypass past a bigger town, A road, motorways, and now I'm on the M11 heading south towards London. The last 92 miles have been a breeze. The next 20 miles are going to be increasingly difficult, and it's due to take me around about 50 minutes, 50 minutes, to get to my delivery point. So this particular part of the journey is still okay. The traffic's flowing freely, and I'll let you know with my next clip when it starts to change. Okay, so the next part of my journey is the roads come down to 50 miles an hour, and we're losing the third lane now. So we're going to go down to 2 lanes and 50 miles an hour. So this will be the start of the congestion. At the moment, I've just done 5 miles from last video. I've got 15 miles to go to my drop-off, and it's 45 minutes to get there. So time hasn't really changed, but I've done a quarter of that distance already. But this is the start of it getting a little bit slower. So we're still moving freely. We're moving at 50 miles an hour. We're all keeping the same pace in our 2 lanes, and we shall see what happens. I'm just looking ahead on the map. I'm not turning off at any point. Actually, I'm going to join another road. I'm going to join the A406 at short distance. So I'll just run the video until that point. I'm sort of doing a clockwise loop into my collection point rather than directly there. It's quicker to do the route I'm doing now by about 6 minutes. So slightly more miles, but not a lot. So it's the North Circular that I'm going to go on. Right, here we are. We're on the North Circular now, heading southwards. I'll let you know next stage of my journey. Okay, so I'm still on the North Circular. On this road, this is part of the ULEZ, the Ultra Low Emissions Zone, which means you have to pay a fee to drive this road if you don't have a clean engine. And my van has a Euro 6 engine, which means I don't have to pay the fee or the toll. So just now it's got very built up. There's lots of high-rise buildings around me, mainly residential, but there's a lot of industrial stuff around here as well. And then I'm just about to turn off at the next junction, and I think it's the A13 that I'm going to be joining, and that takes me in towards central London. So currently I'm 9.5 miles away from my drop-off, and it's 36 minutes to go. So I've come halfway from the M25 sort of boundary, the M25 circular road, which was 20 miles to go. I've come halfway from there, and I've did that in 10 minutes, and I've got 36 minutes to go. So this is still flowing, but a lot slower than it was. So we're now going at we're averaging sort of 35 miles an hour at the moment. Oh, I might need to be in the other lane actually, because I don't want to go east. I need to go around this roundabout. Okay. Okay, so I'm just about to go towards central London on the A13, and we will see what happens next. Cheers. Okay, still on the A13 heading west. It's got a bit more built up here. This is very close to Canary Wharf. Sort of just to the left, you might be able to see the tower blocks of the banks. We're now going at around about 35 miles an hour still, same. So it's 5.5 miles for me to go, and it's saying half an hour. We're getting very close to the Thames to my left. I think we're going to drive to some extent along the route of the Thames and then sort of veer off right into town. So it's flowing. It's still flowing, so can't complain about the traffic not moving at the moment. There you go. These are. Oh, look at this. You can see we're going right through all of the residential and business tower blocks. They're all over the place here. Very different. It's very different to where I started my journey. So yeah, I'm still moving, and I'll let you know at the next stage. Or you can just see ahead the Gherkin and sort of the. I don't know if you can see that on your screen. So some of the more famous landmarks of the business addresses. There's like a cheese grater style building that's just ahead as well. Oh yes, to my left it's the market. What's it called? It's called Billingsgate Market. That's it. To my left. It's quite a famous part of London. Yeah. So from this point onwards, there's loads and loads of well-known buildings and places. It all becomes very tourist map type. Okay, so yeah, I'll pop back in probably about a mile or so. Cheers. Okay, so I'm back now. I'm pretty sure I'm still on the A13, but it's become a lot more slow moving. We've now got a bus lane to my left, and that's where you then start getting cycles coming into play. And this is now where it gets very difficult to, if you're not sure where you're going, it can get very hectic. It gets very busy. So I am now currently 2 miles away from my destination, and it's about 17 minutes away. So that's not too bad. Since I set off, my ETA was always going to be around about 10 past 12 when I set off from Norfolk, and I'm still going to be there. I should be there just before that time, 10 past 12, as long as my maps hold out. So we're on a 20-mile-an-hour road, although I do find that weird because motorcyclists don't follow that, and even the cyclists don't follow 20 miles an hour on this road, or on roads like this in London. I'm often overtaken by people when I get 20 miles an hour. When there's a bus lane, that's actually okay, because the buses and the cyclists stay in that lane. But when we lose that lane, it can get quite tight. And you have to keep a really close eye out from behind you when you're moving. When we're moving at this speed, then you have to be very careful that no one can undertake you or overtake you from the other side. So I'm about to come up to the end of this road, and I'm going to turn left. It's Whitechapel High Street I'm going to be on. And I'm not that far away, so it's saying 1.5 miles now, so actually this isn't as bad as it could be. So I'm now on Whitechapel High Street. My concern at this point is, what will the parking be like when I get to my destination? At this crossroads, when I go straight ahead, that is the congestion zone, which is different to the ULEZ zone. It's an additional charge, but thankfully, now that I've got a blue badge, I don't need to pay the additional charge. So this will be the first time that I'm going to try that out. I have registered my badge and my van with London Transport, and we shall see if it works. So I'm going to straight ahead now. Pedestrians crossing the road, even though I'm coming, even though I've got red green light, keep an eye out for them. Let's go in the other lane. I'm going straight on here. Yeah, so I think I'll bring this bit of video to a close and get myself to the delivery point. This is actually as stressful as it has in the past been, and getting out hopefully won't be as bad as it's been in the past either. Cheers. Okay, so this has now got quite busy and tight. There's cyclists everywhere, there's pedestrians everywhere, there's lanes coming and going. You know, that lane to my left is closed suddenly. So you have to keep your eyes out. How far away am I now? I am 8.8 miles away. I've rung the guy, he knows I'm going to be there. I'm 6 minutes away, and I said before, I'm just waiting to find out what the parking will be like when I get there. So yeah, this needs a lot of concentration. There's a cyclist just gone through the red light, as is their wont. I'm looking behind me, there's a taxi behind me, line of traffic behind me, 2 taxis ahead of me, there's no cyclists going behind me, pedestrians to my left are staying there, and I'm moving. So yeah, so this could be the last stretch of my journey, although there are lots of traffic lights along this road. I don't know this bit of London at all. I don't know London at all really. I'm completely reliant on my sat nav to get me anywhere, and it's usually quite reliable. So yeah, so it's down this road. I'm on the London Wall Road apparently. I wonder if that, well, who knows why it's called that. But yeah, so we're moving. I'm going to stick to the left-hand lane now because I need to bear left at some point, although you can see a roadworks sign ahead of me, so if that taxi in front of me changes lanes, I'll do the same. It looks like the right-hand lane might just be going right. I can't see any arrows at the moment, but they seem to be all determined to go that side. Yeah, there we go. So it's an amazing city, London. It's not my sort of place. I would hate to live here. It's way too busy, way too noisy. I have got the window open just to give you a flavour of the beeping that you can hear. There's not been many sirens. There's been a couple, but not that many. There's a guy on a bicycle on the path there, just Uber Eats drive, and then he's going to whiz off into the road in front of us. What's the cyclist ahead of me doing? He's going straight ahead. Okay. So I'm going to bear left onto Aldersgate Street, although there's another blocked off road there ahead of me. So half a mile away from my destination, 4 minutes, and I should get there at about, well, before 12 still. See the Museum of London ahead of me. Don't know what that shows. Cyclist come up on the inside of me now. Just had a quick look and I saw him. And there's a pedestrian crossing. He's not going to stop for them. And they this is what gets me. That cyclist had no regard for anybody else. He was going to go past me on the inside and cross that pedestrian crossing, and he's whizzing down the inside of this road. Oh dear, so stressful. So stressful. Most of these cyclists are Uber Eats type things, like food delivery people. There's very few tourists cycling, very few people cycling to or from work, or for leisure. It's basically, oh right, here we go. I've got to go somewhere to my right. Am I actually on the right street, or maybe I'm on? I think Yeah, I'm going to stop the video now because I'm not sure where I'm going. I think it's the building to my right, just behind those traffic lights that I've got to go to somehow. I'm going to stop the video now and... oh my goodness me. So, it's now 18 minutes past 12 and I have offloaded with the help of the guy that I was delivering to and a couple of his colleagues, and that went actually a lot better than it could have done. It was really stressful for me. When I left the last video, the traffic lights that were to my right, there was a little entrance before there, just a little entrance after those traffic lights, and I parked up and I spoke to the guy that was there, and he said that I couldn't stay there because there's a lorry about to offload where I was, but if I go back and park behind the lorry I can come in later. And I didn't know, it was on my street, I didn't know how to get there, I was quite stressed, and so I then went around the other side of the building and I found another gate with another guy, and I parked over and asked him whether it's the right building, and he said it was, and I said, can I just stay here and call the guy? And he did let me, and he was really good. He was obviously very clear, he was very keen to not let me get in the way of traffic and to not be on site very long, but he did let me go on. I got hold of the guy that I was delivering to, who was 2 minutes away. He came over, we offloaded just off my van onto the sort of gate, by the gates that I was at, and I was so grateful for that security guy to let me off the sort of ring road onto the gate entrance. I didn't go through the gate, but just parked outside the gate of the building site, and we weren't there very long. We were probably there in total about 5 minutes, if that, and then he let back out the guy. I was really grateful for him for doing that, and he made that experience for me a lot less stressful than it was going to be. My heart is pounding at the moment. It's racing because at first I thought I was going to handball these things off and up some stairs. You know, they're going to go up some stairs in this building. There's no way I could do that, but luckily we just put them off the van onto the road, onto the curbside by the gate, and then he's going to get his colleagues to take them up with some pallet truck. Oh dear, so I'm pleased that's done, and so I'm basically just heading out. Just heading out now of central London. I'm going to try and find somewhere to pause and stop and have a quick look at jobs. Obviously, I can't stop anywhere along here. It's all double yellow lines with double yellow lines on the curb, and although there are vehicles parked along here, and yeah, so I'm going to look for a job from this area, but it's not really going to do anything. It's a Sable Bay there. I've got a Sable badge, I can do that. Hey! Oh, finally, being ill has paid dividends in London. Right, so I'm going to park up here in the Sable Bay with my Sable badge showing, and I'm going to look for a job from this area, and if there's nothing close by I'll just head straight out. Right, I'll let you know how it goes. Cheers! Right, hello YouTube. This is all a bit overwhelming at the moment. I've got this ambulance that's managed to get past us. Let me open up the window so you can hear the beeps and stuff. So we haven't moved from here for a while. I have actually got myself another job going to Norwich, would you believe? And I've got to collect it from 2.5 miles away. It is going to take me a bit less than half an hour from where I am. Luckily now we've moved slightly. The ambulance has got past a few of us. It's really quite a lot going on at the moment in my head. I'm trying to get to a particular location. There's people around me doing their, go about their everyday business, doing travelling on the road or walking across, and it's just a lot going on, and I feel quite. I'm better now, a bit better now, because we're starting to move a bit. But back there, before I started the video, I was in the middle of the road, and there was ambulance behind me, and there's cars coming to left and right, and then to my right here there's this roadworks. Anyway, so kind of what I've said to you. I've got a job. It's a small van job, going 114 miles loaded. I've got it for £110, which is great, really. It's been a really good opportunity to get out of London. But this bit now, this being stuck here and trying to get to the pickup, I can't wait to get out, moving away. But to be fair, there were jobs available taking me away from London, and I've got one for a fair price, I think. Alright, so we're moving a bit, but oh yeah, I'll let you know. I'll come back to you when I picked up and I'm on the way out of London, because this is difficult. Right, cheers. Hello YouTube. So I've now collected my second job that's going to Norwich. It's 5 boxes. However, in the interim from the last video, I've been really put through the ringer somewhat, because on my way to the pickup, I was following my sat nav, and it told me to turn right onto this main road, and then I noticed there was no right turn except for buses, cyclists and taxis, and I thought, well, there's other cars going down that road, so it's not like it's only for those vehicles. It's just that the right turn from here isn't meant to be done. But I just thought I've got to do it because I don't know where I'm going otherwise. So I turned right, got through okay, but I'm sure there's some sort of camera that's picked me up. They're probably going to give me a fine for doing that. Second thing is, I eventually got to the pickup point, which was difficult because it was so busy, and there's roadworks all over the place, and they've closed lanes, and they've people are walking off the road, off the path onto the road. It's really hectic, and when I came out of the pickup point, so the pickup point people were really friendly and really helpful, so I really appreciated them. But it was a ramp, and when I came back up the ramp onto the road, it was a 2-lane road, so I turned left because it looked like the right way to go, and then I worked out eventually that because of roadworks it became 1 lane, and I worked out that I was actually going the wrong way down a one-way street. There was no obvious signage to say that it was one way. It was originally a 2-way street, so I only found out when I got to the end of the road, and there was a car coming the other way and didn't move out of the way, so I reversed up, turned around and came back down the right way. But again, that's probably going to get me a fine as well, and that was quite stressful. And then I'm just trying to get myself out of central London, and I've probably spent the last, what is it, it's now 2 o'clock. I would have picked up about 20 minutes ago. No, yeah, picked up about 20 minutes ago. And I'm still here trying to get out. So my ETA to Norwich from this point is 2 hours and 20 minutes. And I'm hoping to once I'm out of London, I'm hoping to make it, the journey should be quite easy, but I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to get out of this traffic. Looking at the map, looking ahead, I think I'm meeting the A12. Yes, I'm meeting the A12, which is probably about 10 minutes away. Once I'm on that road, I think it'll be fine. But right now it's just so stressful. So yeah, whether I'll get a fine or 2, I don't know. If I do, it will make this trip pointless, really. I suppose it should have reminded me about the perils of London, but I wanted to do the job. I had not much choice yesterday when I was looking at jobs. So I'm pleased I got a job out, but the actual driving in London is really stressful. And this isn't even the worst bit. There was a bit a moment ago, before I started the video, where there was hordes of people crossing the road, and traffic lights and bikes and vans and cars and buses all over the place, and beeps, and I don't know who was beeping who. I don't think anyone was beeping me. I mean, I've been around this area so many times. This road I'm about to go on is one that I was on a moment ago. and I know that this lane that I'm about to go into doesn't go anywhere, but I've got to get off this side road into the main road. Oh dear. Right, anyway, so I'll leave that with you. It's not a pleasant experience, and I just want to get out of the centre of London now. Cheers. Right, hello YouTube. So I'm going to finish off my video for today with this last clip, and I've dropped off the load in Norwich around about 4:30. Was probably offloaded and off-site by about 20 to 5. There was actually a job that I've been on going from Norwich to Milton Keynes, but that sort of just ended up just not going anywhere. I don't think it got sold and it got cancelled. I think it's still on the system, but it's gone past the time that they wanted to collect it. It was supposed to be collected at 20 to 5. So that's not going anywhere. If I'd done that job, I would have made an extra £100 and been home at 9 o'clock. So an extra 2 hours on a day. As it stands, I'm going to finish, be at home for about 7 o'clock. Before I do my stats for today, I just want to take a little bit of time out and recognise and appreciate one of my subscribers, or I'm assuming they're a subscriber. So the time now is 5 o'clock on Wednesday the 26th of March, and so you're not going to hear this until at least a week, if not longer, from today. But in this moment I received a comment on a previous video from Paul Glibberly Transport, and it was just a really nice bit of a supportive message to receive after quite a long, hard day, and I really appreciate all the positivity I get from the commenters on my YouTube channel. And so I thought I'd just take a bit of time out to recognise Paul on this occasion, because he happened to send one at the moment I was going to do this video, just before I did the video, and it was really nice to have that sort of genuinely supportive and warm bit of communication. So thank you, Paul, for that, and I really appreciate you continuing to post supportive comments and positive comments on my video, and watching my videos at all is just nice to know that someone's doing that. So next, it's been a bit of an up and down day today. I'll do my stats now, and then I'll sort of try and reflect a bit on my experience. So today my average fuel price is 13.64 pence per mile. By the time I get home, I will have driven a total of 372 miles, 372. I will have worked for a total of 11 hours, just over 11 hours, only by a few minutes. And I will have made gross from 2 CX jobs £260, 260. And I've only spent £50 and 74 pence on fuel, so let's call that £51. Which means that my net earnings today comes to £209, 209. And really, I've not made that much in a day net for a long time. Possibly not since sometime in February. It's nearly the end of March now. I don't think I've done anything like that in March itself. So it can only be seen as being a successful day in respect of the outcome, which is the money that I've earned. And so when I reflect upon today, now that I'm no longer driving in London, I do think, well, maybe that is something I should or could do again if I can get a reasonable rate of return. But then I do remember how stressed I was driving in London. I wasn't I suppose I wasn't very stressed. I was mildly but continuously on edge and a bit stressed while driving in London, because there was so much going on, and not knowing if I had a second job made it worse. If I knew I had a second job, I think it'd be a lot easier to relax and sort of take it as it comes. But it was quite stressful, but I think I can cope with it. I think it's something I can deal with. And I'm going to get home, 7 o'clock, which is not very late for me. And I would have made decent money, and it's been a lovely day, weather-wise. So bearing in mind it's now spring, definitely spring, maybe going to London is something I can cope with. Maybe the more I do it, the easier it becomes, the more familiar I get with the roads. Today I spent pretty much 2 hours in and around the centre of London, and I must have gone down the same roads 3 times. The first time going to my drop-off, the second time going to my pickup, and the third time getting out of London going to Norwich. So there were definitely roads that I was on 3 times, and I was beginning to get to know which way I went. So I don't know, it's now that I'm not in it, I can be a bit more sanguine about it, but at the time it was quite unpleasant. But I just think that there's not really, if I don't do a day like this, am I going to make the same amount of money doing what I usually do? And I just think maybe I won't. So I need to just bear in mind London's an option, but I must make sure that I price it correctly. I think that £150 is not a bad price for me to go to the centre of London if I can do it closer from home. Spending an hour and a half of that time going to Fakenham, although it was a nice trip, I can't price it at the same price at £150 and go to Fakenham, which is an hour and a half drive away. So I'd have to perhaps make it £180 if I did that, and that might make it a bit more feasible. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I never say never with this job. I'm never going to sort of block off opportunities, no matter how difficult they may be. What I've learned with this job is there is not really any ideal strategy or ideal way of working. For someone like myself, who kind of is scratching around in the kind of leftovers of everyone else, the CX leftovers, then I think it makes sense that I do the jobs that other people don't really want to do, because that's where I can make a bit of money. There will be people that don't need to do the difficult jobs, but I'm not one of those people. So I think I have to accept that if the opportunity is there again, I'll have to do a similar day to today. Okay, let's bring this to a close. So thank you very much for listening to my video. I hope that you are all being successful, however you choose to define that word for yourselves. And I shall see you again on Friday. Farewell, friends.